When I was a high school student back in 1994, a couple of friends of mine were discussing about good music. One of them recommended Merciful Fate's In the Shadows to the other one. I was very interested in that discussion, so I asked him borrow that album. When I listened to it, I was very involved at that time, very interested and very hooked. So I asked him more and more. Later, he recorded a cassette with two or three songs of each King Diamond album available at that time. And when I discovered that King Diamond were a talented writer of opera songs, opera of huge albums in heavy metal scores, I was very hooked at that time. Ever since I've been a fan of King Diamond. This is Secret Covarrubias for the King Diamond Show. Stay heavy.
Are you ready? That's wrong band. We are back. We are doing. Oh, you're right.
Ah, cool.
I always get so prepared for your podcast, man.
I usually do too, but I couldn't find the damn Merciful Fate or King Diamond shirt. But I found a Rat Salad Review shirt, and if you want a Rat Salad Review shirt, please go to ratsaladreview.com and buy a shirt.
Fuck yeah.
We got hoodies, sweaters, everything. But yeah, we are doing Fatal Portrait. We are finally at King Diamond. It's felt like forever, Greg, hasn't it? I felt like we've been doing the show for at least 11 episodes, which I think we're up to.
What are you doing? What are you doing? On this episode, we're going to talk about Doomed by the Living Dead. Is that how you've been doing the show?
Yeah, that's how I wanted to do it. That's just not how it came out to be.
But, yeah, I love this. That would have taken entirely too long.
Yes. We would have died of another disease by then, by the time that ended. But I love this album cover. I think it's really cool. It's one of my favorites of his.
Yeah, me too.
Just, creepy looking, and it's just fits with the times. But anyway, we're talking about Fatal Portrait.
It's so weird seeing that logo in yellow still, because when I had it on vinyl, I always had the first U.S. press. And it's like light blue and dark blue. Yeah. And I think the bat is orange, if I remember right. It's been years since I had one, unfortunately.
I like it this way, but better, though. You can actually see what it says. The other way it looked like it was like I don't know, it was weird looking.
Oh, it definitely looks better like that. It's just I'm still not used to it.
Yeah. I even like the back of the jacket, with the king. It's cool sitting there with the little... the goat horns. And
I like how he holds his hand, too. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Well,
and I like all the cutouts and the stone and stuff, too.
And the face makeup is pretty cool looking, too. So, all right. I'll actually hold this up because I got to remember the songs. All right. The Candle, track 1. Opens up with that creepy intro. Does this have a... yes, it does. Oh, yes. I was going to suggest that we all said this together because it was kind of cool, but we're not going to. But It starts with the 7 years have gone. It can no longer be left undone. The candle must burn again, and pain must follow the unholy flame. So burn,
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 burn.
Free
free the
spirit.
spirit from its chains.
chains.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. But that intro's fucking cool.
I won't do the whole organ run through, but I know it.
Kind of the Oath Part 2, like, beginning?
Yes, kind of. Yep, exactly.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of albums from this time, every album was starting with, like, an intro like this. They always had to have an intro, which is cool. Nobody really does intros anymore. There are a few bands do, but not
right. Nobody does.
No, it got a little out of hand. I mean,
yeah.
I wish more people still did it, but sparingly.
But this is the first album after Merciful Fate's breakup, and I mean, I don't know what songs maybe might have been written during Merciful Fate, and maybe not even any. I don't know. But this song is awesome. It doesn't sound anything like Merciful Fate. I couldn't see this being done by Hank Sherman or anybody, even Kim Ruz, because this is more like Kim Ruz. Like we talked on the last episode, he's more of a free feeling drummer,
Yeah.
And Mickey D's kind of much more straightforward with his drumming. Yeah. And
yes.
It's just totally different, this is one of my favorite songs.
But it's the closest of all King Diamond albums that sound like Merciful Fate.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
It was
my favorite too.
Yes. Yeah. My favorite King Diamond album, hands down, is Fatal Portrait. That one, when I first bought it, I mean, it does still have a lot of elements of Merciful Fate, where I think starting in Abigail, it became full blown King Diamond.
Right. Yeah.
But
this is still, even though the first 4 songs and the last song on the original album, minus the bonus tracks, form a little bit of a story. This is still very much more heavy metal and less theatrical than he would become on Abigail.
Yes, it's just really this song and maybe the beginning of the Jonah as a little bit of a cohesive little sound effect thing. Where, later on, King Diamond albums, there was a lot of that,
Yeah.
I didn't realize, I knew that the first half of the album was a story, but I didn't really get into the story, because sometimes I don't really know what the lyrics are, because some of them are a little bit hard to decipher.
I could be wrong, but I don't think Dressed in White is part of the story.
Yeah,
no,
it is.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole first side of the record and then
And
Haunted
Yeah.
are all part of the story.
Okay.
It says five songs on this album. First 4, and Haunted from a short story. Narrator sees a face in a candle as he burns. This face speaks one word to him, Jonah. So he finds an old book, speaks a rhyme, and frees the spirit from the candle. It's the spirit of a little girl named Molly, who tells him her story that happened 7 years before. Mrs. Jane kept her 4-year-old daughter, Molly, in an attic until she died. Before Mrs. Jane painted Molly's portrait and put it above the fireplace so Molly would become immortal. However, Molly made the portrait speak to her mother so that Jane would know about Molly's pain. Mrs. Jane then speaks a rhyme and burns the portrait. A free spirit of Molly returns to haunt her until she goes insane. Which is kind of funny because I was listening to, what the hell is the last album called? Give Me My Soul, Please. And that deals with a dead child as well. Well,
Abigail.
Abigail.
Yeah, Abigail,
Missy.
But this one's kind of funny.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
The graveyard
This
also
one
involves
seemed
a dead little girl.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Did she die?
No, she didn't die.
No, the graveyard, they kept her in a coffin, but she didn't die.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's right.
it was just funny how this story seemed a little similar to the Give Me My Soul, Please, because this girl was already dead and she comes back to tell him what was going on. That's what happened in Give Me My Soul, Please. He found that girl and she was telling him the whole story about how she died and everything. But we'll get to that album later.
I need to visit that album more. Give Me Your Soul, Please. That's the one King Diamond album I haven't really attacked as much as all the other ones,
Yeah. So what do you think about The Candle? I mean, it's a great opening track. I love it. I mean,
My
it's cool
second
hearing
favorite
the
track.
new band. Second favorite?
My second favorite track on the album. My favorite track is my all-time favorite King Diamond song, and I'll say it when we get to that. But I love this song. I love, there's a little bit of King Diamond vocal gymnastic on it. Da-na-na, ah, da-na-na, ah, da-na-na, ah, da-na-na, ah, love that he opened the last tour with it when he opened the show with The Candle. It's like, fuck
really?
Yeah, man. Yeah, the last time I saw King Diamond, he did that. He opened the Candle.
I love that guitar break right when he goes, "Tell me why."
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite part of the song.
You could tell that's LaRoque, too.
Yeah, you really can. He makes his entrance quite nicely with that, though.
Oh, I forgot. There was a band I listened to the other day. I think it was, it's a really cool band called Traveler. They're from Canada. It's, traditional metal. The dude does a total Andy LaRoque solo. I was like, dude, I mean, that shows you Andy LaRoque has his own style,
Right.
And this dude was doing the wah, 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 wah. I was like, wait a second. Unless Andy LaRoque is on that album, that's plagiarism, But, The Candle rules, dude. What a great, great, great opening track.
Totally.
And it just really sets the mood for the story and the album.
And Mike Denner and Andy LaRoque, they work very well with each other.
Very well.
There was no, nothing sounded like it didn't work with each other at all. So it was good, really cool to hear them too.
They sound great
together. The Jonah. Yeah, they do. Track 2, The Jonah.
Awesome.
I like how this song, like the first song, started with like the talking and everything. This one does too, just a little bit, but not as long as the first one. But a little bit. After 7 years on a dusty shelf, the book seemed unreal. For 7 years in an ancient rhyme, the fate of a girl was sealed.
And then it goes into full-blown sound.
It sounds a little bit like Hand of Doom when it starts to pick up.
Yeah, some Sabbath-y shit going on there. Love it.
And he talks about how he was searching in the attic by the moonlight. And what would he find? An old gray dust, I felt. It's staring back on that book. Some really cool lyrics on this song.
My favorite lyric, in an ancient rhyme. That shit's so badass. I absolutely love that part.
Me too.
Yeah, like I remember when we were doing "Don't Break the Oath." You liked all those parts that like King would do like that.
Exactly.
And, that kind of I didn't like him as much on that, but on this album, he doesn't. I don't know. He just maybe refined it a little bit better, and I like that stuff on this album. I think it just fits better with this.
I think he had a clearer idea of what he wanted to do with it here. Yeah. But I like him on both records. That's my favorite shit he does with his voice.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, like it gets better on this one, though. I think. I love the Jonah. I don't know. It's a cool song. There's not one song in here that I don't like. It's kind of hard to say anything bad about these songs because every single song on here is just one good song after the other.
Oh yeah.
I don't dislike any of them. Yeah.
No. And the funny thing is too, like, even after this, all the albums have a story, and this one's just half a story, and the rest are just regular songs. And I wonder if he kind of kept that pattern for the rest of the albums. Like, would they still be as good? Like if Abigail was just only half a story.
Right. Well, he did do that on The Eye, and I believe Spider's Lullaby.
Spider's Lullaby, yes.
Spider's Lullaby, yes, but The Eye is
The Eye was the full story.
Yeah. It's the full story? You guys sure about that?
Positive.
Okay. Because one, it was just some of it.
No.
Yeah, because even the Spider's Lullaby, I thought that was a pretty decent album.
I love that album. I think that's his most underrated.
Good.
Right. So do you think that he really needed to do full concept albums all the time, or do you think it would have worked him doing like half stories?
I think he was kind of forced into it after Abigail. I mean, maybe forced into it's the wrong way to put it, but that was always his, because he did a bunch of concept albums after that, And then, after Spider's Lullaby, he went back into full concept albums. So, and not that I'm complaining, because, man, I've said it before, man, how badass would it be if you get a great director to make a movie? For me, look, it's not my favorite King Diamond album, but I think the coolest movie would be Them. A movie on them and conspiracy. That's the most fucked up story out of all of them. Like, very eerie and very well, the characters are very full and shit. Man, I would love to see a movie on them. And you never know, man. Maybe in the future somebody finally in Hollywood would wake up and say, you know what? Fuck remakes. Let's hire King Diamond's,
right.
like they did Stephen King, Let's make a bunch of King Diamond movies. That would be so awesome, And if it happened,
movie I saw.
Huh?
There's this one movie, I think it was last year or the year before, I saw, and it had these grandparents, and for some reason, it had something to do with tea. I wish I could remember what the hell the name of the movie was.
Oh, really?
But it had something, the grandmother was always drinking this tea or whatever, and then she was trying to kill the kids. And then when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, damn, the story must have came from them. And something must have came from them, a little bit.
Right.
I'll try to find the name of that movie, and I'll let you know what it is. You've probably seen it.
Okay.
It was a pretty decent movie. It was all right.
Not to go into another album, but my friend Holy George had the coolest thing, and I've never seen it since. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. He got a promotional album for the song Tea, and it brought a bag of tea.
Yeah, a bag of tea. Yep.
You seen that? And it had King Diamond on the bag of tea.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so fucking cool.
I'm sure that's a very rare item to find. The Portrait, song 3. My mother was obsessed by evil jealousy, is how the song starts. She didn't want nobody to even look at Molly. She kept me locked up in the attic till I died. Only 4 years old, my story left untold. Oh, Molly, oh, Molly. She's talking these lyrics, I can't think what the hell the song sounds like.
Oh,
I can.
Molly. Down, 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 down,
Oh, yeah.
down, 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 down. When I saw the Abigail tour, he did that, and he had the book up there that had flash paper in it. And he's looking at it. And
Really?
It's pretty bad.
That's cool.
So that's cool. He does add like some of these songs because, I don't know, that was on the last live album. Was some of these songs on there besides Halloween? I don't remember. Maybe the Portrait was on because that was the Abigail tour.
Oh, you mean songs from the
live
Dead?
at the Fillmore? Yeah.
I believe Candle's on there. I do believe it is.
I think it's just the Candle. I'd have to take my headphones off and shit and go grab it.
Not that big.
Yeah.
But I always wish they, would add more songs. But I guess they do.
The
only other thing I ever hear is Halloween.
But I love this song too. Not quite as much as the first two, but this goes along real nice with them. It's got a good groove. I love how much this record swings, actually. I think he kind of lost that with his consecutive bands over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. What about you, Ralph? Portrait.
Love it, man. I love this song. It really does. It's a great flow, not only story-wise, but music-wise, because what I really love about this album, most King Diamond albums are the same way. The lyrics tell a story, but the music almost like mirrors the lyrics and like it keeps the album kind of cohesive, where it doesn't go too crazy. Like, I'll give you a good example, and I'm not saying this is a bad song. It's a weird song, but it's part of the story is Three Little Girls from The Eye.
Mm-hmm.
That one, like the music goes like it hit a fucking brick wall and just goes into some weird keyboard shit where, everything else King Diamond does. It's, I don't know, man. It must be he has a pact with the devil. I mean, come on. How can you be this fucking perfect music? Really? Yeah. I mean, come on.
Gotta be.
The devil's real.
He is.
I love it.
It's on every album.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And yeah, obviously I bought this when it was new because I'm old as dirt. And when I first got it, my first impression of this album is dude, he didn't say Satan once. You know, it was weird.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
It just felt weird to me, not hearing Satan and Lucifer.
I did say devil.
In the Karen, right?
And the lake.
Yeah.
And,
I'll take you deep across the river Styx.
River Styx, yep.
There's only room for one. No, but yeah, the lake, which is technically not on the album, it's a B-side.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, he says a lot, the devil in that one.
Yeah,
but,
dancing hand in hand with the devil.
Yeah. But I will say that that was pretty shocking to me, you know, to hear. But then, you know, like everything, not only King Diamond, every fucking album I would buy, first thing I do is like smoke a doob, then put it on, then read lyrics. And King Diamond always was that special album to read lyrics to because it was a story, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there reading, I'm like, dude, he's not saying Satan, Lucifer, fucking the devil. This is weird, man. But I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I still loved it. But it really did kind of like, threw me kind of like for a loop, you know?
Yeah.
That's funny because I really didn't think about it that deep, but gee, I had heard Merciful Fate first, but when I got this and I first listened to it and I started reading the lyrics, I was like, oh, cool. He's talking about something different than the devil now. Oh, neat. It's a little story, kind of. Yeah.
But you can always sense, like even in the lyrics, like because this woman kills that girl. You know that's kind of
well, it's
evil,
always
you know? So
evil.
Right?
Yeah, it's a
so
horror.
You already know. You always know there's going to be some kind of devilish thing in within the story. So it doesn't necessarily have to say it. It's always going to be there. Most of them.
Yeah, it alludes that they're possessed by Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. The next song, Dressed in White. This is another part of the story. She's wearing white again, but colors always betray. Don't look into her eyes. There's evil darkness inside.
Fuck it.
This is actually my favorite song on this record.
Is it?
It is not only my favorite song on the album, it's my favorite King Diamond song, period. Of all the King Diamond songs, yes. This has always been my favorite King Diamond.
It's Merciful Fate, like Deep Purple and the new wave of British heavy metal all kind of thrown into one. It's super energetic, but it's got those soaring solos. It's got the different parts, and that melody line just can't be beaten. His vocals are top notch. It's literally a perfect example of what King Diamond does.
I mean, what a way to end side one. It's like, bam!
I would love to hear Kimbra's play this track. His interpretation of it.
It does have a Merciful Fate feel.
That's why I said to Greg earlier, because he told me this was his favorite song, second favorite song, right, Greg? He said,
this is my favorite overall. The Candle's my second favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
Mine as well.
But so I said to him earlier, it's like, if any song on this album feels like it's an old Merciful Fate song or a leftover Merciful Fate song, it's Dressed in White. Has to be. With the guitars, the way those guitars come in, the dueling guitars.
Yeah.
That sounds like an old Merciful Fate part there, and just the song in general. It's pretty upbeat and fast, which is how most of Merciful Fate stuff was, and this is the closest thing to a Merciful Fate song.
Yeah. Timmy's rhythm line even sounds like Merciful Fate on it.
Right. Yeah.
That when she's wearing white again, I could totally hear that at the beginning.
It's almost like one of the fast sections of Satan's Fall.
Yes.
That kind of vibe.
I love the chorus on this one. She carries a secret, and where she must go, you'll never know.
Never know.
No.
And I like on the end of the song where he goes, "You'll never know."
Yep. And my other favorite shouted line at the end of a song on this is "Hear my story."
Oh yeah, that's Jonah, right?
Yeah, that's is it Jonah? Yeah, it is Jonah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Next song, Sharon.
Karen.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. I have a terrible time pronouncing names, and things.
Well,
Terrible
yeah,
Tom
those of us that are indebted to the devil have to know this.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know.
I mean,
I'm not.
I bought a couple Pepsis at the store earlier, and it came out $6.66.
Nice.
Can't go
I did the same thing. I went, but it came out to $6.65. I go, I'm not buying that unless I give you another penny.
Well, when it happened, the cashier was like, "Ooh, $6.66." I was like, "Bitching, can I get a pick 3 too?"
But this song's cool. I like how this one starts out. Welcome, my friend. My name is Karen. He does that scream. Please take my hand. I know a secret land. Don't be afraid. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not singing. I'm faceless, but don't fear now. I'll take you across the river Styx.
I love the riff in this song.
It's cool.
Meaty.
Just everything in this song is really cool. Like I said, there's no really bad song on this thing. It's just awesome. Just a lot of cool guitar parts. Yeah, a lot of good guitar solos.
Oh yeah, there's one I find slightly boring, which we'll get to here shortly, but that's the only thing that makes me give it a 9.5 instead of a 10.
My complaint about Karen, and it's such a minor gripe complaint, is that this album should be listened to on vinyl because I can't stand how it comes in so quick after Dressed in White on the CD. It doesn't give you time to breathe.
There's not enough of a gap. Yeah,
there's not a gap at all. It almost sounds like one song, and it would piss me off. I was like, no, I want to breathe a little bit. I don't mind, because even like the first 3 songs, there's no gap at all, but at least it has a little atmosphere thing going on, where it doesn't go straight into a song. But this is like, you'll never know, ha ha, with a high. It's just it always bothered me when I heard it on CD. I was like, no, I need a gap. And plus, I'm so used to the gap because you got to flip the fucking album over. It's more than a gap. But
I was always used to the CD, so it didn't bother me.
Yeah, I just couldn't get used to it. And of course, keeping my tradition, my favorite part of the song. I am your dad.
Yeah.
Another weird little vocal phrasing from the King.
My favorite was always,
cool.
welcome, my friend, because I can picture him doing this.
Yeah, I'm not doing no screams because my son's right above me, so I'll wake him up.
Oh, you don't want to take him across the river?
No, he wouldn't cry. He would cry the whole way. Come on.
Probably.
Unbelievable. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. Next song, "Lurking in the Dark." Greg, you say this is the.
This is the one where, even though it's got good riffs and stuff, I find the verse parts and the beginning of it pretty boring. But the ironic part of that is when it gets to the solo section, it's one of the best jam solo sections ever in a King Diamond song. I mean, Denner and LaRoque just go off there, and Mickey D sounds great, and so does Timmy, and they're all so in step. It's like Merciful Fate again, almost. But
it's got that cool breakdown and the guitar solo part. With the
that's the whole part I'm talking about, like that whole 2 minutes. But then it goes back to the verse, and I'm kind of like, okay, lurking in the dark. But, but it's worth it for that middle section. But I still don't think it's a bad song. This is just the one where it kind of dips a little bit for me.
Yeah, I can agree. I still like it, though. I don't dislike it.
It is my least favorite on here, but I love it.
Oh, I still love it. It's not like I put it on and hold fast forward down until it gets to that one part. I listen to the whole song, yeah.
It is unskippable.
I think they all are, really.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's got a catchy chorus. I mean, every song on here has got a catchy chorus, got a catchy verses, everything. It's just good.
You
What else
know,
you feel?
it's funny because you mentioned something earlier, Wayne, about not realizing that it formed the story, but the musicianship was so good on this album. I didn't even ever really pay it much attention
Right.
to the
These
full
songs-
lyrics until
Right.
years later, and even now, still, other than the different parts I like that King does that are real highlights to me. For me, this album, the main focus is actually the band, which I know it's kind of weird talking about a King Diamond album, but
But that's what the thing is about this too is all these songs, even though the first 4 or 5 songs or whatever are part of a story, they can all be listened to on their own. They don't even have to be listened to in order. It doesn't. The story part is not necessary.
Right.
So that's what's cool. That's what he did on this album. Abigail, I don't know if you can really listen to songs out of order. I mean, you can. Obviously, there's awesome songs on the album, but this one I think is the best one that he did that with, where every song you could listen to whenever you wanted, any order you wanted.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's kind of hard to make a King Diamond mix. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Right.
Where this album, if a lot of albums were like this, it'd be easier to make a King Diamond mix. You know what? Another album I can't listen to one song, Rain and Blood. It's just like you throw on Piece by Piece or any song off that album, and it's like I do not feel complete. I have to hear from Angel Death all the way to Rain and Blood because it's only 20 minutes long. That's one album I cannot listen to. I have to listen to it all, or else I feel cheated.
Yeah, interesting. Song Halloween. Right, we're up to Halloween.
Oh, it's Halloween!
If there's any song I'm kind of sick of, it's Halloween.
Oh, I still love it.
I gotta disagree. I mean, this isn't your brother's We're Not Gonna Take It, man. This is fucking a King Diamond anthem about Halloween. I don't care how many times I hear it. I listen to this multiple times on Halloween Day every year. It
of course
never loses how awesome it is. I mean, I don't know what it is about it. Like, shit can come on like Breaking the Law where I'll be like, yeah, I've heard that enough. I can skip it. But I never do that with Halloween. I love this song.
Mm-hmm.
I have the picture disc. It shows.
I love that picture disc. Hamlet.
I knew him, Horatio. And the back cover, I really love the band, and he's like coming through a wall. Love that shit. That shit is so awesome. I would love to have that as a poster. And that's where I first heard The Lake. Was on there.
Oh, okay.
Yep, same here. Yeah, and then I got the CD, and it was a bonus track on the CD. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
That's the first time I heard it was a CD. But I don't know. He's played this live so many times. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's just like I've heard this already. I don't know. There's so many other better songs on here. It's cool. It's a Halloween song, whatever. But I'm not crazy about holiday themed songs in general.
But how do you not love that?
No, I do. That part's cool. The music is awesome. It's the lyrics and what the song's about. I don't know. I don't like it.
Again, to keep my tradition.
I like the song.
I like to keep my tradition. Another perfect day has begun. I love that shit. The devil's eye. I think he says the devil's eye, right? Or evil eye. I forgot.
Like a demon's eye.
A demon's eye. There you go. Close enough. Close enough to Satan.
The devil's eye. He does say devil's eye. Will we ever?
Wait, isn't this the song where I command you to scream? Yeah, that's my favorite lyric in the whole song.
And when he does it live, the band stops and he makes everybody scream. I command you to scream. I love that shit. Man.
Yeah, it's a cool song, but it's mine. Like you guys don't like Lurking in the Dark so much. Halloween's mine. So
I love how it ends too with that echoey. That little echoing thing that happens.
This is another one where it has a really unique, cool sounding guitar solo too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know who plays it. From the sound of it, I would assume it's Andy, but I really like the sound.
I believe it is Andy.
Yeah.
which solo? Because Mike does the first one and Andy does the second one, according to the sheet.
Oh, I thought Andy did it also. I'm wrong.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm talking about the first one, so it would be Michael. Huh, interesting. I thought they were both Andy, though.
Yeah, me too.
He
took the whole solo.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess maybe they matched the tones on it so it flowed better, maybe.
Probably.
That's something I forgot to mention, and I wanted to talk about on the beginning of the episode, was this is the only album that Andy LaRocque does not have a writing credit on.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. It was probably all written before he came in.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, this is, widely known as the next Merciful Fate album. That's what this album was supposed to be. So I guess it was already written for Merciful Fate, and then they, brought Andy in. And Mickey D, I mean, what you guys were saying earlier, you can't picture Kim Russ doing this. I think the reason why you can't picture Kim Russ doing it is because once Mickey D came in, they had to change the structure of the songs.
Right.
Oh, they totally.
It was more straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, you can't listen to, Into the COVID with Mickey D. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they probably had musically, like Merciful Fate, when Mickey D came in, they're like, all right, we got to make it a little more, perfect. Not so loose like Merciful Fate.
Yeah, not as progressive either. There's not really much progressive stuff in this.
Right.
On these
It's
albums.
more
No, the only one that really goes that way is Dressed in White.
Yeah.
But still, not that crazy. The next song, it's actually an instrumental, Voices from the Past. I think this one is cool. I like this one. I didn't like the last instrumental thing.
I love this one.
All King Diamond. King Diamond does all the guitars.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that?
Right. Yeah.
Yes, I did know that. Yeah, and
I was like, wow, King Diamond can play, man.
And the keyboard effects are really cool.
Yeah, that dun 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 thing going on. So cool.
And I like the drums. How the drums sound like they're like in this cave or something. It's just the way they echo. It's just sounds so cool.
Yeah. It's a badass little instrumental, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the flip side of From One Far Away,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's placed right on the same, second to last track.
Right.
Don't Break the Oath. But yeah, it's awesome. I absolutely love that song.
Yeah. Pretty cool. And the last song is Haunted. I like this one a lot because, again, very catchy chorus. It starts off really catchy. It hit with him telling you, stay away. He must have saw the coronavirus coming, telling everybody stay away. Stay away, Miley Soul.
86 was probably Reaganomics, but...
True.
It was AIDS.
He says, stay away. Miley Soul keeps returning every night to the attic shrine. So this is...
I'm not just sure. I'm HIV positive.
I wasn't really paying attention. To you, and I was trying to find the lyric.
My favorite part of the song was HIV.
Funny, but it's a great ending to the album. I think it's a really cool song.
You play it backwards and it goes.
Does it?
If you play that part backwards, it goes HIV.
Test that out. But some of the lyrics, the house is forever haunted. Nothing you can do. Molly's living there with her dolls, and they are alive. Wait and see.
And I love that little echo. Nothing you can do. So awesome.
A lot of cool stuff on this song.
I played the album earlier today, and when we're done, I'm going to play it again. It's still on my turntable.
Yeah, I listened to it twice. I've basically been listening to I Am the Night Breaker and then Fatal Portrait just on a loop like that.
3 classics. I love that Accept album too.
Classic.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome record.
So yeah, I mean, what do you think about the Haunted?
Haunted's a great song, great closer.
Is your name fucking Ralph?
No, but it clipped when you said Ralph. so I
All right.
didn't actually hear whose name you said.
going.
But
Keep
go
going,
ahead,
Bruce.
Ralph.
All
Oh,
No,
Julie,
I mean,
you fucking interrupted me now. I lost the flow of what I was saying. We're fucked until I remember. That could be next week.
I love it. It's a great ending to the song, and again, a great flow. Even musically, it reminds me a little bit more of side one than the songs on
Right.
side two. It could have been.
'cause it still finishes the story, or the other.
Yeah. So it could have been a good closer to side one if if they added it to side one and just put the lake on side two. So just have the whole story on side one, because it is a little weird to break it up so distantly, because it ends and then we're going to throw in a bunch of songs and leave the finale for the very last song. It doesn't really ruin the flow for me. I'm just saying when it goes to that, it's kind of like a little reminiscent of side one, and it's a little more insane too. With the hey, Mary, that whole little part, and the little change with the down, 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 kind of like a melancholy type riffage going on. It's probably the most bizarre song on the album, and that's saying a lot for a King Diamond album. It's great. It's an amazing song. I absolutely love it.
All right, Greg, you want to finish your story?
That's a great song. It's a great album closer, but I do wish, like Ralph was saying, it concluded the song Sweet on the first side, because you can tell it's the closer to that, and it does make it sound out of place, but it works well as an album closer. But it's a great song.
I kind of like how it's broken up a little bit, because it gives you a break from the story, then brings you back into it. It's like, oh, you forgot about the story. Here it is. Here's the rest of it. Like a commercial. You listen, watch some commercials in between.
What kick-ass commercials this album got, huh?
Yeah, right.
Do you want to talk about the lake since it's a bonus track?
Yes.
It is on the CD, technically.
I think this should be mentioned because this song is fucking amazing. And it says the devil.
Yes.
That is true.
And it fits the album perfectly. It fits the vibe of the album, and it was so cool when having that picture disc back then. It's like, wow, I got a song. I've had it before Dark Side was released, or the CD. CD didn't come out till later. So it was, every time you would get a B-side from bands, it was always that special little thing for the fans.
Right.
And I always thought the lake was so cool, and definitely the highlight of the last time I saw King Diamond. He fucking played the lake.
I wish I saw that.
I was like, geez, he's doing the lake? This is amazing, It's like, wow, he's doing a B-side. A B-side I absolutely love, And fuck yeah, what a great, great song. Love it. Lake is awesome. I like it more than Lurking in the Dark.
Right. I was going to say, I wonder if they would have maybe switched the songs. It still would have flowed, I think, with the album, because it fit. But it's one of my favorite King Diamond songs in general, I think.
Well,
I remember.
Oh, definitely.
Remember the Kim Russ interview? They were pressuring King to, hey man, lay off the Satan and Devil lyrics. So maybe that was a contributing factor why they left it off the album.
Yeah. Because King wanted to get more commercial with his stuff, and he wanted to leave the devil and Satan talk out of things. He wanted to keep it in there still. Like I said before, you can still tell there's some kind of satanic things in there, but he just didn't want to bring it out and just say the word Satan and the devil all the time.
Right.
Which is understandable, but whatever. It's still there. So, But yeah, I remember buying this CD, and then seeing that it had said bonus track, and I was like, what the hell could this bonus track be? And
no, it says it real huge in the corner.
Yeah, I know, I hated that.
Extra track with an exclamation point.
Make sure you
lake.
But yeah, it's when I heard that song, I was like, holy shit, that song's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I would have bought the CD anyway. I had the vinyl, but man, I see, the lake. You gotta remember, back then CDs was like the high tech shit. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna have this.
What's like what, $90 a CD?
Yeah, I'm gonna have the lake on a CD, man. You know? Yeah, and CDs then was like fucking 15, 20 bucks. I mean, even back then, and that's a lot of money back then. You know, that's why, I mean, it took me forever to buy CDs. I would buy them little by little by little because they were just so, where the albums were like $6, $7.99. The CDs were like double that price. But when I saw Fatal Portrait on CD, I was like, I need it, you know?
Now it's switched. Now the records are back to being like $30, $40, and now the CDs are like, you know, kind of normal price. It's kind of weird.
Especially if you're looking for the original press. It'll be way more than $30. I don't know if I ever told this story. It's like one of my biggest regrets in my fucking life was when I started buying CDs, I started giving away the vinyls to my friends for free. You know, but there were certain things I didn't give away, like that Merciful Fate EP. When I got in the beginning on CD, I still knew, don't give that one. You know, I still held on to a lot of, you know, I knew not to give away, but yeah, Fatal Portrait was one of them that I gave away. Oh, well, I got the CD. The CD has the leg. This vinyl doesn't have the leg. Have it.
Oh, yeah, there's, I'll give you a real good example of that, and not every press has this. This is just because I always had the Italian press on vinyl, but Venom's Black Metal takes the B-side to Black Metal, Bloodlust, and puts it on the album as track 5 on side 1 and makes it an even 10 tracks. But the first time I heard it on CD and it wasn't there, it was at the end of the album because it's technically a bonus track. I was like, I can't deal with this. It fucks up how it sounds.
Yeah, right. So used to it. Yeah, that's another complaint I have. A lot of people love this, but I hate when they reissue shit that has bonus tracks. I would rather have bonus tracks on a separate CD because it's just like, it kills the album for me. I'm so used to the album being the way it was originally released. Then, you know, I don't even give a fuck if the bonus tracks are good or not. It's like just tacking it on kind of like ruins, you know, shit I grew up with, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I kind of like dislike shit like that. Yeah. And I also, I mean, not to get off the subject, but I kind of find it pointless. They put those rehearsal songs on like Them. And,
it's kind of stupid.
Yeah,
it's like, it doesn't sound good. It's pointless.
The only one that had good bonus tracks when they did that remaster series in '97 was Fatal Portrait because it came with No Presents for Christmas, which I could honestly live without on the CD, but it's nice to have that and The Lake.
Yeah, I've never had
the Fatal Portrait album.
That was something I owned before Fatal Portrait was No Presents. So that's when I first heard Karen. Because it was the B side of that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of The Lake, Greg? Because I didn't ask you.
I love The Lake. It's one of my favorite King Diamond songs. Just the whole thing's perfect.
Yeah, it is. Really cool song.
Sister Margaret disappears in the lake.
I love how it ends because you know, everything's like, I think, what's the hell the lyric is? A lake of grief or something like that, and then at the end of it, the nun gets dragged into the lake, and everything's happy. But that is the Fatal Portrait. Go check it out. You can still buy it everywhere.
Everywhere quality music is sold.
Where'd you buy that shit? Is that one of those Facebook?
Devil. I think, I could be wrong, but I believe I bought this in Costa Rica when my band played Costa Rica. There was a really cool metal shop there that had huge paintings of Dio and I forgot who else, Maiden, and outside, but inside they had so many cool shirts, and I believe that's where I got this one, the King Diamond. If not there, I know I got it on tour somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it was the Costa Rica gig where I bought this.
Cool shirt.
And the back has the what do you call that thing?
Oh, the
Oh wow, Ralph! I didn't know you were a plumber.
A plumber? I don't get it.
Because the ass crack.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing my boxers.
Coach, I was just messing with you, but all I could see was the back of the shirt. It would have been funnier if you knew what I meant, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you remember that old Saturday Night Live skit where Dan Aykroyd was a plumber, and he comes in and he bends over and there's the ass crack and they're laughing at him. Yes, yeah. I understand now. I just didn't know my ass crack was showing.
It wasn't. Oh, I was just being an ass.
Fit up,
yeah.
But what is that cross? Does it have a name?
I don't know if it has a name, and I know I've seen it before. Yeah, I ever seen King Diamond use it. It's, I guess, some kind of satanic symbol, but that's not something that King Diamond came up with. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I've seen that image somewhere.
Yeah, that's been all over the place. Yeah.
I think it's one of the symbols that's in like Crowley's Book of Magic or something like that.
Yeah, that's
what I just can't remember what the name of it is.
I would think so too. It's almost like two upside down crosses.
Yeah.
That is true. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, Ralph.
Right on, man. I love being here, man.
Yeah. We're going to cut to now Michael Denner. He is back again talking about Fatal Portrait. We will
what
see
a
you guys
guy.
next time. He is a good guy. He'll be here for like a very long time.
Fucking right.
That's right. All right. See you guys next week. Bye.
Smack him, God.
That's right. Oh, shit, Ralph. Hold on. Tell the people where they can listen to your podcast. I'm so stupid.
Oh, I got the Vieira Vault podcast. You can have it on. You can hear on Spreaker, Apple Music. It's no longer called iTunes, and it's on YouTube and on Rat Salad Reviews.
That's right.
That's right. And my radio show every Thursday night on that metal station, Dr. Fuck Show, and always looking for new females, South Florida girls. If you think you're a slut, get in my bed. I will out-slut you. I always have to. That's my favorite plug, actually.
Meet him in Kmart.
Find Ralph on Facebook.
Not yet, though. I don't want the Corona cooties, but let's wait till they're done with it. I'm telling you, man, if this Corona shit keeps going on, this arm right here is going to be very muscular, and this one's going to be very skinny because I'm going to go through porn like a motherfucker if this shit doesn't end. I need to get laid.
I'm done,
guys. Michael Denner.
I can see him when we come back to do them. I'm done, guys.
Yeah, right.
Pornhub. I made it through the whole thing.
I'll be like this. What's going on, guys?
His right arm looks like John Rambo's.
All right, Michael Denner.
So when you joined King Diamond, you got a new guitar partner, Andy.
I got
Andy
one,
Lamar.
and we played so loud in the rehearsing room that we could not hear his lead work.
Oh wow!
But when we came out and recorded the Fatal Portrait, King dragged me out in the kitchen of the studio and said, "Man, there's something very wrong here." So we had to fire him, and then we said, "Shit! Now we need a guitarist. We're in the midst of recordings." And Mickey D, our drummer, he said, "I know a guy from Gothenburg. You will love it. He's a very nice guy, very soft-spoken, nice person, and he's an excellent guitarist." So I said, "Okay, fly him over." He took a plane from Gothenburg, came in with his guitar, and I started the tape. It was Dressed in White, that song, and I said to him, "Try to play on this." Because it was a reasonably simple structure of the solo part. Mm-hmm. And he did a solo, and I said, "We keep this for the album. You did it so good, so we will keep this version. And you're hired as my sidekick, the other guitarist in the band." Mm. Yeah. So the solo you hear on the album is his audition.
Okay.
Wow. And it was straight. Wow. It went straight in. First take, it went straight on the album.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So that's how you knew that was the guy.
That was the guy. And then I rented him and Mickey my apartment so they could stay there, So we had a lot of time, hanging out, getting to know each other, private, go out for beer, listen to music, having a good time. Because I've been playing with a lot of great players, musicians in general, and but some of them has been brilliant players, but assholes as human beings.
Yeah, right.
So that's the first thing I say. I don't play with addicts. I don't play with addicts, and I don't play with assholes. But when I turned I turned 60. So like I say, I'm able to do that now.
Right.
Don't compromise. Play with people you love. Love to work with. Not assholes. I don't need that anymore.
Yeah, they just waste your time.
Yeah, but of course, when you're younger and you're hungry, and you need to get some success, you eat the bitter fruit just to be able to go somewhere. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any reason why Kim Ruz wasn't going to be the drummer of King Diamond?
That brings me back to what I told you about Kim. He was quite different.
Yeah.
We were four guys hanging out together. Drinking beer, watching soccer games. So Hank was a bit more quiet and by himself. But we had a lot of things in common anyway. But Kim, he was more like a joint guy. Smoking a joint and. Relax, man. And we call him pissed King off, because he couldn't remember some of the song because he was too stoned, and shit. So he was at that point he was quite different. Yeah. He was very different, and also he had some anger issues. At some point we had to, both me and King, we actually went into a fight with him. Oh, wow. So it was not. That was he was a brilliant drummer, but there was some bad vibes at the same time. Yeah. So when I heard King split and started a new band, I was absolutely sure that he will not ask Kim Ross. He will not be part of it, definitely.
Right. Now, did he have Timmy in mind to play bass as well, too? Or
Yeah. Okay. He did. And then with Timmy, it's so easy because he's like, okay, you want to do that? We do that. He just grabbed the bass and just play. That guy is a talent. Yeah. Because music always been his second thing, The biggest things for him is soccer, football. Mm-hmm. Always been the big. Music for him, yeah, sure. Let's play it, He didn't have a record collection he didn't really care. He just took the bass and played, no matter what. That guy was amazing, so he was so easy to work with, so easy. How easy it was for him just to go in, grab the bass, and just play. Yeah. It was. He wasn't into music that much, He had an ear for the playing, and the very strong thing about Timmy was his stage act.
Right.
He was like all over the place when we played live. Mm. He was a very powerful person on stage, and that was a pleasure because me and Hank were more stationary, more like standing and doing our difficult parts and shit. Then Timmy could go out and just run around, and King with his stuff, So that made it a great live act, Even though me and Hank were more standing on the same spots, concentrating on doing all our guitar parts,
Yeah. Mm. How'd you like the eye patch you used to wear?
Well, I don't know what happened with it. It was like just an image. And when you see the photo these days, it looks maybe a bit silly, Yeah. But he felt he wanted to do it. He always he was also very much into what King were doing, with his makeup and the effects he had got on stage. So I think Timmy was trying to do a bit by himself, to make a stronger image somehow. So he tried with that. But I'm glad I'm not the one who did that. So, yeah.
Greg, got something?
Yeah, I always got a kick out of it. Well, Fatal Portrait is still my favorite King Diamond solo album. Partially because,
mine too.
Most people they point at Abigail as their favorite, but I can follow you. It's deeper. It's quite eerie in my book.
It is, and I honestly, Karen might be, or Sharon, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, Karen.
That's might be my favorite King Diamond song overall.
Thanks, man.
I
co-wrote it, so thanks.
Did you? That's probably why it has so much of the Merciful Fate vibe to it, I feel like.
Yeah. Actually, Karen and the song No Presents for Christmas, I had them done before King asked me.
Oh, wow.
They were supposed to be on the next Merciful Fate as my suggestions for my songs for the next Merciful Fate album.
Mm.
So King, when he heard them, he said, "We can use them in my new band, and also as a courtesy because I joined him, So just bring in some of my music as well, So and we King wrote some parts to make it more like his style, and so we did these two songs together.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
How is he on the guitar?
Yeah, I mean the thing is with No Presents for Christmas, which is quite a funny song. It was not. It was seriously not meant to be a Christmas song.
Really?
All the heavy parts you hear it's a straight Michael Denner composition for the next Merciful Fate album. So King got this idea, to bring in all these jingles and all this funny stuff. So we changed it into a Christmas song, and it was not. It was meant to be a heavy, aggressive Merciful Fate track, and it came out as a Christmas song. Thank you. No, but it worked, man. I mean, that's also a classic these days. People enjoy it, still.
Yeah. So he has a sense of humor. I guess you got to have a sense of humor, I guess writing, these kind of lyrics and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of laughing, especially between me, King, and Tinny. There was a lot of fun. A lot of laughs and fun during these years,
Yeah.
We were very close friends, at that point, yeah.
Now, for the Abigail album.
Yeah.
What?